Well, hello everyone. Today we have something very old and mysterious. What could it be? Ooh. This is a Zither. Yes, made by Franz Schwarzer. Oh, it looks like this one has had a rough life. All dried out, cracking. Looks like someone had attempted some repairs in the past. I know that there are loose braces. The strings are just gonzo. So we're going to replace those. And I think what we will need to do is to remove the back from this and replace the binding. Look at the lovely inlay work. You see a lot of Zithers, but this one is certainly special. Yeah. It's lost its structural integrity, it appears. These tuners are typical of German instruments. It looks very familiar, that hand-carved metal work. And it's got these big tall frets from Austria. It's got 5 strings, and it looks like this one has been played quite a bit, judging from the wear in the fingerboard and the wear in the frets. But it wasn't slapped together. This thing is very tight when it was first made, before it got left in an attic somewhere probably. But we're going to fix this up nice. There's a little story that goes along with all this. You see, Franz Schwarzer was born in the town of Olmütz, Austria in 1828. The son of a building contractor, he also learned the building trades. Franz Schwarzer attended the Polytechnical Institute of Vienna, where he studied architecture and woodworking. After college, he studied zither under the highly regarded composer Ludwig Ritter von Dietrich. In the spring of 1866, Schwarzer and his wife, Josephine, came to America. Before their marriage, Josephine had a short career as a stage actress. Sadly, they had lost an infant son before they immigrated. They probably had come to America in search of economic success in the face of prolonged economic slump in Austria handcraft system. In New York, they bought property in Missouri from a land agent which was not the idyllic estate they'd expected. The dwelling there was a 2-room log cabin with a dirt floor. Many of their neighbors were German peasant farmers who were thriving in the New World. The Schwarzers, however, found pioneer life on the land too difficult and soon moved in 1867 to nearby Washington, a prospering town on the Missouri River where Franz found a ready market for his handcrafted furniture. In Washington, they lived in modest circumstances while Franz occasionally fabricated a zither for one of his friends. Before the Civil War, Washington had become a bilingual, bicultural town, as were most of the counties in the lower Missouri Valley, following heavy German migration which had begun in the 1830s. Franz became active in the Washington Turnverein and the Liederkranz and was elected the first fire chief of the town. His reputation as a zither maker spread, and in a few years was able to work full-time making various models of the concert zither, importing stylish components like German silver frets, mother-of-pearl inlay, ivory, and rare woods from abroad. 1873, Schwarzer entered 3 of his zithers in the Vienna Exposition and was awarded Gold Medal of Progress, the highest award of the fair, for his entry. That distinction and his skillful use of publicity increased his business and allowed him to enlarge his operation, ultimately to 25 workmen. He was also able to experiment with other instruments, especially mandolins and guitars. A plain zither sold for about $19. Large zithers with more strings and decorated with fine inlay could fetch from $600 to $1,000. That was a lot of money back then. Eventually, the Schwarzers owned the entire city block in which their brick residence and factory buildings were located. The landscaped grounds were the scene of many festive gatherings with their friends and customers. Prospective buyers were encouraged to come to the factory and personally choose the inlay designs which they preferred. Banana trees, monkeys, and a pet alligator were the attractions which, along with their native Austrian friendly character, made visiting with the Schwarzers a special event. Wow.
I never knew the old Vienna before the war with its Strauss music, its glamour and easy charm. Constantinople suited me better. I really got to know it in the classic period of the black market. We'd run anything if people wanted it enough and had the money to pay. Of course, a situation like that does tempt amateurs, but, well, they can't stay the course like a professional. Now, the city is divided into 4 zones, each occupied by a power, the American, the British, the Russian, and the French. But the center of the city, that's international, policed by an international patrol, 1 member of each of the 4 powers. Wonderful. What a hope they had, all strangers to the place, and none of them could speak the same language, except a sort of smattering of German. Good fellows on the whole, did their best, Vienna doesn't really look any worse than a lot of other European cities. Bombed about a bit. Oh, I was going to tell you about Harley Martins, an American. Came all the way here to visit a friend of his. The name was Lime, Harry Lime. Now, Martins was broke and Lime had offered him some sort of a job. Anyway, there he was, poor chap. Happy as a lark and without a cent.
Well, that was a battle.
What's the purpose of your visit here? A friend of mine offered me a job here.
More collateral damage than I would prefer, however.
Lime, Harry Lime. Okay. Thought he'd be here to meet me.
Everything is repairable. Cedar top and cedar back as well. Kind of roughed up a bit, but we'll glue all the splinters back together. As many as we can decipher. Pretty dried up. Nice workmanship. Okay. Alright, we gotta get it cleaned up. We'll probably have to replace the binding. Binding it all the way around. We can do that. I think this is probably the best area to start here. Get this aligned and attached to this block so that this is level with the main tuner block there. Alright, get the schmutz that someone rubbed in there out of there. Someone tried to repair this before with insufficient clamping and technique. Alright. Hey, this would be a great spot to do a shameless plug for the Music Techs, located in Manchester, New Hampshire, home of Doug McCormick Guitar Repair and Gorilla Guitar Repair. www.themusictechs.com. And check out Gorilla Guitar Repair on YouTube as well. Seth's a pretty funny guy. I think you'll enjoy his videos as well. While you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe, and you will get a steady feed of awesome guitar repair videos. So check it out. Well, we've got one peg on the end there that doesn't want to function correctly. We'll have to pull that out and investigate that. Also, the bridge you can see is lifting up a little bit. We'll have to secure that down as well. Well, this is every luthier's fear, collateral damage. Get all this splintering and whatnot solidified again and ferried out and sanded nice and smooth. So when we glue it back on, everything goes back together nicely. It's not fun, but it just comes with the territory. So I get a little more capillary action going on here. in there. This is the piece that this goes into. So I'm going to put my extra wide base on. I did a test on a scrap piece of wood. This is what I'm going to use for the binding. Set up my router bit to be the same width as the binding. Do a little test on here. This is Wenge. Okay, you ready, folks? Okay. Yeah, that should work nice. Very nice. Oh, you know what I gotta do? Oh, I gotta pull those darn pins. Yeah, all these this whole row of pins here. I forgot to pull those out. Okay, well, I'll do this side and then I'll pull those out because this router guide's gonna bump into those pins. Alright. Okay, we got those pins out there. You pretty much just pull them right out. They're in at an angle. I just need that row off of there. Cleans it up nice. At first I thought I'd use black walnut, but I decided on using Wenge. I cut it up into binding size strips on my bandsaw. I'm going to add a little dye to my fish glue and glue the binding in. Fill in any little gaps and whatnot. Beautiful. Okay, back to the thither. It's a thither hither. See hither, zither. Okay. I built up some true oil. I hit it with some 3000 grit Trizac. Just knock off the fuzzies. Schwarzer.
Yeah, I can eat whatever I want, and it doesn't show.
32 Zithig. All right. I have no idea which strings go where, so I am going to have to find some kind of reference. I don't know. Okay, I think I'll start with the fretted section of the fretted section of the instrument, because that's easy. Griff means fingerboard.
Have you worked at the Gibson International store lately? Yeah. No, in the last. No, but I have. So that would have been like. They need something.